Hey, in this video I'd like to address something that I've found a lot of guitar players have some trouble learning, and it's learning the notes on the neck. It can be tough to just get fast at just jumping and knowing where you're at all moments. So let's just do a quick review of how the notes are laid out and just kind of work on this together. So the musical alphabet is A through G, so it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And the notes are separated by whole steps and half steps. So a half step is 1 fret apart, or 1 note away, and a whole step is 2 frets apart, or skipping a note. That's that. And so E, F, and B and C are the 2 pairs of notes that are right next to each other. Just like how on the piano there's 2 sets of keys. They're right next to each other. So starting from our open string, like the E string here, if that's E, then E, F, and B, C are the 2 that are next to each other. So that means that the first fret is going to be F. And that means that it's a whole step from F to G, and a whole step from G to A, and a whole step from A to B. And then when you get from B to C, there's that half step again. It's a half step from B to C and E to F. Okay, from C to D is a whole step again, and D back to E is a whole step. So remember, this to a 12th fret is always the same note as the open string. And the pattern repeats from the 12th fret on up to, however many frets your guitar has. So now let's go back down. Going backwards, we can start at E at the 12th fret, and it's a whole step to D, whole step to C, half step from B to C, or C to B, whole step from B to A, whole step from A to G, whole step from G to F, and then a half step from F to E. Some of the challenge here is maybe not even necessarily learning where they're at on the guitar, but is actually getting used to thinking about the notes. Some of us maybe don't even, want to have to go through that phase of thinking about this stuff, but it helps to open up your playing, and it helps to make it easier to play with others. And so many things are kind of rooted off of knowing where the notes are at. So it just kind of like passing this hurdle really helps to open up a lot in terms of your lead or rhythm playing or writing, or, even starting to learn how to figure out songs by ear. It all kind of comes back to being able to know the notes on the guitar and where they're at, and then you can kind of go from there. It's like a good foundation. So that's the E string. So let's just go up the A string real quick. Remember, E, F, and B and C are the ones that are right next to each other. So let's start with A, which is our A string. So A to B is a whole step. So that's going to be on the 2nd fret. Then it's a half step to C from B, whole step from C to D, whole step from D to E, half step from E to F, whole step from F to G, and then from G, we're back at A, whole step. Right there at the 12th fret again. So now let's go backwards. A to G is a whole step. G to F is a whole step. F to E is a half step. E to D is a whole step. D to C is a whole step. C to B, half step. And then B to A is a whole step. So let's just start with these 2 strings, because that will help you start to kind of get to know the neck in terms of bar chords and scales. And that ends up kind of opening up so you can learn songs and start to get more ideas for writing songs. Okay, so now that we've covered the natural notes, let's quickly talk about the accidentals. So in all those spots where we had the whole steps, we're going to have our sharps and flats. A sharp means that you move the note up and a flat is the note goes down. It's a naming method, and once you start to learn your keys and your 12 keys, it all really kind of comes together. So we have 5 sharps and flats because there were 5 spots where we had a whole step. So between F and G, we have a note there. This first fret was F, 3rd fret's G, so in between we have F sharp or G flat, which is called an enharmonic equivalent. So it's one note, same note, 2 different names, either F sharp or G flat. Okay, so the next accidental on the E string is on the 4th fret between G and A. It's G sharp or A flat. Then between A and B we have an accidental. A is at the 5th fret, B is at the 7th fret, and right there in the middle is an accidental. It's A sharp or B flat. Okay, so now we're at our next half step. Between B and C, it's a half step. So there's no sharp or flat going on there. Okay, so next, then we'll just jump from C to D at the 8th and 10th fret. C sharp and D flat. And the last one is between the 10th and 12th fret, D and E, D sharp or E flat. So we covered our 5 accidentals. And if you look at it, we have kind of like 3 accidentals that are a whole step apart. And then we have the 2 up here. F sharp, G flat, G sharp, A flat, A sharp, B flat, skip between B and C, and we have C sharp, D flat, and D sharp, E flat. All right, let's check out the A string now. On the A string, we have the accidental right there at the 1st fret, because we have open A and the 2nd fret B. So right in the middle, we have A sharp, B flat. Then right next to each other are B and C. And so that means there's no accidentals in between there. You know, B sharp would be C, C flat would be B. So it's just B and C. 3rd fret and 5th fret is C to D. So right in between on the 4th fret, we have C sharp, D flat. Okay, and now we have the next accidental is between D and E, and it's D sharp, E flat. Okay, after that we have E and F right next to each other. So going to the 8th and 10th fret, F and G, we have F sharp, G flat. And then here up at the 10th and 12th fret, we have an accidental in between G and A, which is G sharp, A flat. So again, we ran into our 5 accidentals. We have 1 here at the 1st fret. Then we have 2 in a row here at the 4th and 6th fret. And then 2 in a row up here at the 9th and 11th fret. So at first, this may seem a little arbitrary or not completely necessary to memorize. If you tune your string different, the spot of the notes changes. But really just getting used to the note names and the order they go in will really kind of just help you move forward quickly. There's an exercise that actually I think I saw in a Musicians Institute material when I was there. And it's basically something you can do without your instrument. And it's just kind of practicing the alphabet forward and backwards. So you can start going forward, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, and then start with the next one, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then the next one, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, etc. to get through all of them. And that's a good way to kind of get used to, the musical alphabet. Also going backwards is helpful. C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, etc. So, because some of what slows us down on singing it on the guitar is seeing it in our mind. We want to get to the point where it's intuitive, but this learning curve helps to also know it and to get past blocks and, And it also helps you to transition to other instruments, to composing, to producing, and things like that. So hopefully this was helpful. Trust me, learning these notes on these 2 strings will at least help you with getting to another stage of your playing. All right, have a good one. I'll see you in the next time.